Good evening, everyone. I welcome all of you on behalf of CIMSME. I'm Kenisha Sabnani, Global Secretary, CIMSME, owner of Styling Impressions Private Limited. I welcome one and all to the webinar today. It's an honor and privilege to welcome our guest speaker today, Mr. Kotam Raju Prasad.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, one and all.
I'll just give a brief introduction. Sorry. I'll just give a brief introduction about him. He is BTech in Electrical and Electronics Engineering, India, with an immense experience of overall 28 years. After graduation in Electrical and Electronics Engineering, he started the career in India as Power Projects Engineer, in Middle East as Maintenance Engineer, and in Kenya with ABB for over 15 years before starting his own electrical contracting company across countries. It's an honor to have you, sir, today.
Thank you, madam.
And I'm sure it will be a great learning for all of us.
I'm sure.
I request you to please start your presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, all. Thank you very much for inviting me on this forum to speak about solar projects and products opportunities in Kenya. I'm so happy to share my knowledge and experience on this forum. I'm sure this information I'm sharing will be of useful to our all our colleagues in India, and the very purpose of MSME is what you call initiation into this. So as I was explaining before also, this from the beginning I was always trying and putting my efforts to promote products or manufacturers or suppliers from India. And in my projects, as well as while I was working in another group called ABB, I always made my efforts or convinced, made sure that Indian products are brought to this country, used, and we utilize it there. So while now I joined here as my own contractor, and I also have used in several areas like solar products, electrical products on my projects, as well as I persuaded my customers to use the Indian products. So now I begin my presentation on this exclusively the solar products and projects opportunities in Kenya. How, what is the status of the country, and what is the potential? This is what I'm going to explore. As you all know, Kenya is one of the East African countries. So it is its coast is Mombasa. Next slide. Yeah. Excuse me, just. Yeah, going to the next one straight. So my brief details are already given by the madam. And okay, I started in 1986 with the Tata Group in India. And then after working for a few years, I moved to Middle East. And then I came to Africa by chance. That was in 1992-93. So since then, I remained in Africa. In several countries, I worked as a specialist engineer in troubleshooting the various automation products and electrical solutions. So then I joined the group called multinational group called ABB. Served as finally before leaving, I was head of East Africa for all the 14 countries. Then I now reaching the peak of my career, I moved out. I started my own business firm, which is electrical and solar contracting firm. So our company is called SES Solutions Limited. The SESS also Sai Energy Savings and Software Solutions. That is an expansion and abbreviation of SES Solutions. We are basically licensed into all the mandatory requirements for electrical and solar and communication. I am also specialist in communication links like fiber optics and STP cabling and all of that, structured cabling we call. If they need all these kind of contracts, we need qualified people, and our company is licensed. Even myself as a licensed engineer for in these three sectors. So after starting my company, we have done some of the projects I listed here, which is called cement plants, railway station. I have done entire electrical works for railway stations, and we have done an edible oil, entire electrification and automation. Automation means maybe I will elaborate a bit. It is like a dashboard of a car. You got a mileometer, you got a fuel gauge, you got all the indicators with the heating of engine and etc. etc. It is similar now. Analogy, compare that to a big factory where there are several machines, equipments are running, process control from the raw materials input to the finished product outputs. So that is called automation, monitoring all that from inputs to the outputs, finishing, starting to the finish. Similarly, the petroleum, this is a refinery, actually pumping station we have said. This is a pumping station, is not a petrol station like a fuel station we call. It is fueling the aircrafts. That is the kind of fueling station I'm talking about. We have done entire electrical works for such kind of huge pumping station, as well as automation for that. Petroleum automation means, you know, it is so sensitive and so critical. So because we have know-how, we have done such projects. Recently, I have got I have got a project for the entire stadium. We call in our side in India we call cricket stadium, but now stadium like Lal Bahadur Stadium or a stadium, very huge stadiums for cricket, or I think we have football and rugby games here very popular. So that stadium electrical works, I got the contract. So okay, it got slowed down, but we are doing it now. So that projects are now ongoing. While we are doing these electrical automation works, we also got embarked into the solar projects, solar products as selling also into the local markets. So while we are doing it, I have focused in the solar products. Mostly these products I have brought it from India, Hyderabad and Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad also they got this what you call solar home systems we call, like a two-room house, an apartment where we can put lights, 3 or 4 lights, one in kitchen, one in bedroom, one is in a sitting room, like that. So this is a package. Similarly, there is a street lighting. Similarly, there is some study lights, very basic lights for those who are in villages. So I have imported thousands and thousands of them and retailed out here a lot. So those are the projects. And then we have also done an off-grid solution. If anybody here on the solar who knows off-grid, they know it's an island-based island. I mean, not an island in the waters, but island means it is no connection with any utility power. It's isolated in all directions, and it only the battery is what it supports. So 4 or 5 days of battery backup. So the whole station or a system works on 5 days, 6 days entirely on solar with batteries. So that is a very critical work basically. So we have done last 2 years, we have done this 10 kilowatt, 25 kilowatt according to the loads. Then the street lighting, you know, like we have got Bharat Petroleum and Indian Oil there. Here we have got Tullow Oil, which explores the oil from this egg, and then they'll sell it out. They extract it, they send it to refinery, and they sell it. So those all the Tullow Oil we serviced them with several street lightings with solar based, no power at all of. Similarly, we have done also for the godowns, very big godowns of 8,000 SFT, 15,000 SFT, total solar solutions on the top of the rooftops. So that is what we have done on the solar parts. And while we are talking about the home lighting and solar home lighting systems and the study lights, smaller versions, we are talking about SACOs. You can see on my screen SACCO. SACO is nothing but unions in the tea sector, coffee sector, or if you look at very big, huge factories, 1,500, 800, 1,000 people are working. They have their own unions and they have their own funds. And they also have a problem of what you call it as there is no utility power for their families at home and all. So we provided solar solutions using the SACO societies. Some of them are like James Finlay's, like we have Brook Bond and this thing, we have James Finlay's here, very big tea group. Williams and Tea, Brook Bond also here in Kenya. Then we have done several study lights for that one. So if you see the map, solar power in Kenya, if you really look at it, the solar power, how the meteorological data of Africa is, that's why I put it this one here, how Kenya looks like, how it is the kind of climatical conditions. So we have looking at the weather conditions all through the year. Normally to put up such kind of plants like solar, wind or anything, we need to have meteorological data. So if you look at this map, you have some clarity straight away. So it is very ideal for solar implementation. So that is why I'm showing this one. So anybody who wants to come into this country for the solar, this Kenya is very good, very ideal. Besides Kenya, the next map I am showing you, hope you can understand, it is neighboring 5 countries around. It's neighboring 5 countries around. Very, very important. If you look at that, sorry, to go back, if you see, we have Tanzania, we have Uganda, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and Somalia. All these are neighboring to Kenya. What does it mean? The significance of this map means we, as Kenya, we are blessed in the sense we have a port. It is a very stable country and democratic, very democratic, and potential is good. And we get a good, what you call it as a manpower will be good. We can handle largely very many issues. Why I'm using that kind of comparison is, if you go to neighboring countries, then that experience can tell you we may need to borrow people from Kenya for certain applications, even basic applications like electrical works and civil works. Skilled staff in other countries may be difficult to find. I worked in all these countries. I know about the drawbacks of manpower and issues. So if that is the way this map is so critical, if you know those 5 countries from Nairobi, all these 5 countries can also be monitored and controlled in terms of products. Now the data, geographical data and agriculture data in this is very clear. The population is there. Okay, that is still an old one. We are already increased since that data is there. Another 6 millions are added. So it is not 47 million. We are 52 millions. So we are increasing very rapidly. So the GDP is there and all, not much change there. Electricity cost is very high in this here in Kenya, 20.2 US cents per kilowatt hour. Very high in compared to anywhere in Africa. So that is why this is also one of the attractions for the investors to come forward. Yeah, solar. Can we do this one? Yeah, just okay. What should okay, create a okay. if you are looking at this Africa economically, we have not economically. This is, we are looking at the solar radiation and insolation. We call these are all the factors for the solar. We are talking about the solar this solar topic. Insolation, the number of sunny hours are all very important factors one should know to decide on whether we go for solar or any other options available. So now we are looking at economical standards. We are sixth in Africa. Global level is different. Now, if you investors' point of view, if you look at globally, Europe, Americas, Far East, or anywhere, Africa is now the favorite destination for many. As you look at how the political and geographical scenario is changing day to day, how China is coming in aggressively into this Africa. They invested in almost all countries, creating their own ways of debt traps or whatever they call. I mean, I should not say on this forum, but that is the fact. But then if you're looking at the population point of view also, we are now 50 plus millions. So it is ever growing population and ever demands are always there. So that's why in this map, I'm explaining where we are standing economically and what is our GDP and all other factors. On the solar aspects itself, if you are looking at, we have got a 4 to 6 kilowatt hours per square meter of this insolation. That is means if we have a good solar panels, we can produce, or we can tap, not producing, we should tap that much of power per square meter of the solar cells. But unfortunately, we are able to get out of that 4 to 6 kilowatt hours per square meter. We are able to take 10 to 14% of that value. That means the problem is either we have a poor quality of the solar panels, or our ability to capture or that much of solar solutions are not available here. There's a lot of scope for that one. So that is the reason, if you really look at, we are moving more into this solar power farming. It's also called farming. So power farming, we are doing it. Many more are coming as we are speaking. And then to control the fake and duplicate and inferior quality products, we have got the agencies, which we call it as KEBS, Kenya Bureau of Standards. EPRA is there, electrical and power regulatory authorities, and rural electrification, rural authorities. These are all the big the governmental authorities who will filter what is coming into this country by means of the standards and controls they have. If on the renewable powers, we have not only solar as we speak, we have got a geothermal, we have got a wind power, we have got hydro, we have got coal mills also. So of all, there are certain, geographically, I have shown you a map. There is how the temperature trends are there, how the wind flows. Okay, wind, that map is not shown, but personally, as I know that wind patterns are important for windmills. So there are certain areas where windmills also are there, and up to the level of 300 megawatt. So 300 megawatt Turkana, we have that power plant which is generating. It's a hybrid. Along with the wind, they got generators as well as solar also. So their total power output of that one is 300 megawatt. Hydros we have. We have got, I'm going to show on the hydro what is the power output we are giving. It is almost contributing 30% of the solar power requirements of this country. Then if you are looking at per square meter all the way whole Kenya floor, we have capacity of 23,000 trillion watt hours of capacity that can be produced because we are on equator. We are just 30-40 kilometers the distance from where we are, the equator is. We are so close to the equator. And then the sun hours are 5 to 6 hours, sunny hours. It is that way very ideal for tapping this 23,000 trillion watt hours. Okay, not 23,000, even less than around 25-30%. Also, if we tap it, it meets our requirement, and then we can export. Then we have, government has created a policies of going ahead with the 500 megawatt, and with they are setting targets. Year 2030, we should have 300,000 domestic solar systems. Domestic solar systems means individual solar solutions without any connection with the utility power like AP State Electricity Board or Karnataka State Electricity Board. Like here we have got Kenya Power and Lighting System. So without connecting to that, I have my own solar system with my own backup. I'm independent. So that is what it means. So this is on the solar projects I was referring to. While we are talking about it, already this is this concept of promoting solar in a big way was going on for several years, 5 to 6 years since back. So some of the biggest projects which are ongoing, actually Garissa is already done, but officially it is not open, but they are 500 megawatt. And then this Lamu solar plant is under construction, and this is also next 2-3 months it will be commissioned. Then and there are many other solar projects which are ongoing now, and some of them, like we are talking about, there is almost 6.23 megawatt are of independent, in the sense they are not into the grid systems. They're not into the grid systems, but they are independently connected. Like I can say that less than 1 megawatt, there are many factories which have those kind of solar solutions. Less than 1 megawatt. Less than 1 megawatt means I don't have to export to the grid system. Grid is the circuit to distribute the network for the whole country. I use it for my own purpose in my own in-house usage. So if you count those, there are almost 6 to 7 megawatt is there. Last week, one of the company also awarded 1 megawatt. That is to one of the Indian company. So they are that way they are kept coming. Now I want to give another examples of what is going on here. There is two products, two of those interesting pioneers in this solar power plants called Strathmore University. They have done on their roof all the classrooms and all this. A very good university with good funding from Europe. We have done the project. I was also involved in design levels in that group, Strathmore. They have got 1,730 megawatt hours yield. That is 600 kilowatt is the capacity. And it is very successfully commissioned. It is in a reference project in this country. A lot of youngsters usually go there and learn how a solar plant look like. And similarly, the Garden City is a car parking area, which is almost 400 to 500 cars can be parked. They are rooftop, because here, remember, this is equator, close to equator. If you leave the car open, high and dry, the interiors get spoiled because of the intense heat and the ultraviolet radiations. So most of them, they put car sheds. So the carport, this 400 car port, they have used it, and they are generating almost 850 kilowatt. So that's a very interesting project. These two of them are. Now our details, how our generation in this country, which can see how the percentages. Hydro, as you all know, we have rivers here. That's a flow. This is 7 well tucked dams, and there are on the rivers they have put in on that one. Close that. We have got a geothermal plants. Geothermal, I don't know how many of you are aware. In whole worldwide, we have got in Malaysia. Yeah, Malaysia, we have geothermal wells. Geothermal wells is nothing but they are usually close to the volcanic areas. From the earth, like water is oozing, steam oozes out, at 250 to 280 degrees centigrade. Those who have got power plant exposure or knowledge about it, they can talk about it. They understand what I'm speaking. So that's 250 to 80 degrees is called saturated steam. That takes up, and then we use it. It has got a lot of sulfur content, and it's purified and removed, and they use the turbines, very special turbines, to generate power. So that is what geothermal. So fossil fuels, there is a gas, diesel, like we use diesel power, diesel fuel to generate. We put big, huge gensets of 10 megawatt each genset, 11.5 megawatt, like that battery of 10 or 12. So almost 100 megawatt, 200 megawatt is done. That is why we use fossil fuels there. I explained you about windmills, which is in Turkana's area. That's a 335 megawatt. So solar is still a 1.77% of the total requirement in this country. It's so extremely low. That can grow up, and this fossil fuel part can be cut off. As you know, that fossil fuel has got a life. Another 20, 30 years, you are done. So that is the endeavors this country is doing towards to move more solar, so reduce the fuel oil. Now the level of here in this slide, we are talking about how we do the distribution. If you are really looking at distributions, we have got a distribution network of 220 kV distances, distance transmission, like county to county or one end to the other end. Then there is 132 kV, 66 kV, 33 and 11. These are all power lines distribution. That is how the network is like. These are all the veins of a body, you know. Similarly, the 220 kV go all the way far distances. 132 is a sub distribution to the county. 66, 33 are a sub step downs to the factories, and the 11 kV comes to our home. From there, 415 volts. That's how the whole, in a very simple way, I'm explaining. If you really look at the population of what we have in Kenya, electrified and people have access to the electricity is only 56%. And urban areas, obviously, we are more having higher rate. Rural area is still far way to go, 39%. And clean cooking. Now, cooking is very critical in this part of the world. Why? Because many use kerosene and firewood. Because of firewood, that deforestation is going on. Not exactly entirely on that, but major chunk is going, deforestation is going on, and using kerosene is also becoming, is a very common practice here, which are one for environmental, not good for the deforestation. The other one is not good for health. Kerosene, using kerosene in a closed doors, the fumes are there, it causes a lot of health issues. So that is how the factors are there, which are we can which has to be changed now. Looking at this, the government has come with this kind of solutions, because accessing, sending the distribution network, cabling, connecting with the poles, it's cumbersome. They came with this idea of COSAP, off-grid solutions, Kenya off-grid solar access. What does it mean? It's like island. I was explaining island example earlier. If you look at it's a small village of 100, 200 houses or 300 houses, give a contract, put a small solar requirement for them, because villagers, usually their demands are not as much as those who are in urban livers. So if you look at that, put a 200 kilowatt, 400 kilowatt, you supply, install, maintain for a certain period with the approvals from the government. That's a contract is going on. That is very, very popular now. Already 14 counties here. Look at districts in our side. Comparison of counties here is equal to districts on other side. But districts our side are even thickly populated. We cannot compare. These populations are lesser. But for your easy comparison, counties and districts are on the same part. So Vision 2030 is 70% should be electrification to be done. So in order to motivate, encourage, and give, what you call it as attract the investors overseas, as such, Americans are coming, Chinese are flocked here, but maybe it may change, because the policy decisions, things are now being discussed, how much bank on the Chinese versions, because they are bringing third-rated products to Africa, especially to their region. It is proven, so these people are the government policy holders or policy makers are thinking how much we can bank on the Chinese products. And so India has got a good opportunity because the government of Kenya to government of India, excellent relations are there. Last time, 3-4 years back, Prime Minister Modi ji came here, given a lot of what you call it as this so many donations, and not called donations, government to government, through the Exim Bank, they give loans and all that, given sanctions, they given hospitals and textile mills, they're all uplifted. A lot of things have happened. Due to that, it's opened up, and there is a good relations between government as well as people here in Kenya also. Like I was explaining some time ago out of this presentation, Asians here, especially from India, they are so proactive into the governmental policies. Those who are here for several years, we are contributing a lot in terms of good in all situations, good and bad. Now the corona is here, so Asians are really coming forward, Indians especially, for this thing. Then they are really contributing to meet the poverty-ridden slums areas, food donations and all. So that has got a good image here. So in that process, government has also creating the what you call it as policies, how to bring in more investors, and put incentives are given, like removing the taxations, reducing the what you call as income tax slab, increasing the income tax slab for those people who are earning on this, repatriation of the amount which is earned here 100% without any issues. Similarly, we have got also caused this kind of decisions are due to the patterns, weather patterns in this country. Weather patterns are very bad here. Sometimes, like we have agriculture sector that side, we too have agriculture sector as well as the dams, which I said hydro is 30% almost. Because of the poor rainfall, unpredictable rainfall, the dams are all dried up. That is why that's an issue also. So the government has come with very good incentives. It is there implemented. Many are utilizing that facilities also. So if you are looking at that, then the bills what they have passed, they have really provided so many benefits for those who are coming. There is a what is not covered in this presentation is also that there are government banks are coming, international financial institutions are also coming forward to give loans with less interest to invest into these countries. Idea is to remove this kerosene to be used at household fuel. That should be removed totally, and using the what you call this firewood, which I was explaining, which is very, very important. Deforestation is one of the causes. You can see smokes when you are traveling out, and by car you see the smokes. They cut in, they put it in, they make coal in that, which is not good. They made mandatory all the solar water heaters, and also some sectors outside also where there is no networking, solar solutions are mandatory for lighting also. That is what the government has come with. These are some of the policies they have implemented, and more are coming in. How we are classifying the solar sectors are three. We are talking about domestics and the industrial and the commercial sectors. And on the domestic means, if you are talking about all are domestic, the households are all domestic only. So where an individual's choices, when we look at 20 cents we are paying per kilowatt hour, it is cheaper in long term, the solar. So using a solar inverter with a small battery and all others, it serves us 3-4 days even there is a problem, or we don't need a utility power at all. We use this in essential areas, lighting part and meeting our televisions, refrigerators and all others. We are free even though power is available. So that sector is almost 51%. So then we have got the industrial sector, which is now we are talking about the big factories and godowns. I've explained that we are also involved in working on with 5,000 SFT, 8,000 SFT godowns, where on the rooftops with good sun power, we are good sunlight, we are able to put it on the top, spread the panels, we bring it down, the production can continue with the solar power generated due to that. and they are 200 kilowatt, 500 kilowatt, according to their factories, the type of the factories. If it is a production factory which is a 24 hours, okay, now it is reduced, but 12 hours running. We are able to give solutions according to their needs, and they're also financed by the banks. If you are giving a solar solutions and there is a good financing available, local banks are also there, in international banks. Smaller amounts local banks can support. Bigger amounts, usually we are talking about 40 megawatt, 60 megawatt, 100 megawatt. There are all international groups are there where they can. Then there is a commercial sector. Commercial sector is like a big time investor can come with a power purchase agreement with the government here, and then we will buy, the government will give the land, he can put the solar farm, export the power. So that's what I was referring in my earlier slides. That's 550 megawatt, as then 40 megawatt in Lamu, and another 2 or 3 in offing anytime now. So these are the emerging trends now. We have some issues also, like economic barriers. Cost to implement that one. If you are talking about an implementation, like if I'm putting at my residence, so almost 40,000 per kilowatt. Why? Because it contains batteries, panels, and accessories, electronic accessories, inverters, converters, and all will be there, and the cable. This will cost overall minimum, okay, 40,000 is slightly on higher side. With the time period, it's coming down. So it's you have to pay an arm and a leg. Okay, I cannot say that, but it is a bit costly still. That is economic barriers we are talking about. Then technicians. I was talking to one of the gentlemen last time when he was trying to look for from there. He was comparing his prices in India with the Kenya. We have technicians shortage, specialized technicians in solar. So and the projects are coming up, so many. So there is a shortage, and you don't get really an expert in those technicians. So there is a shortage, and that's also one of the situation here. Then the solar products. If I source everything locally, there are problems that I may end up a wrongly labeled product with inferior qualities. I'm paying more, and then that is also an issue. Even though the controls are there, these counterfeits, how can you stop? So there is always, they find a way to put it into the market. So many of them are prone to those kind of counterfeits, because not everyone is knowledgeable about how to segregate from a good quality to the bad quality. Then, okay, we are talking about socio-technical barriers and etc. Those are all, it's a global issue where how many people are really informed and how to select what sizing and all. Nobody will go to a professional every time. So they just think they take it on with their own limitations, and they just buy it, and they end up in problems. Then they don't know whether it is useful to them or not. So information on that is a bit less. That's what I mean to say, socio-technical barriers. So with all the informations like we have, solar is the future, in the sense it is not only Kenya. Okay, we are talking, I'm representing and talking about Kenya, but future with the fossil fuel reserves in the soil, in the earth here, Mother Earth, and abundance of solar, our way forward is only the solar. It's not only for Kenya globally, but as such in Kenya, more because of the equator and others. And then for that, what are all the tariffs we are talking about? So FIT is also there, feed-in tariffs, which we are going, here the government is charging and government is paying. So it's enough opportunities are there, both islandical, actually the solution is off-grid is there, off-grid or islandical. Those things, both our options are available. Once we have products here, there is a big areas where we can implement those solutions. So whether it is a standalone island-based solutions or grid-connected solutions, we have a number of ways on doing it that. The feed-in tariffs are very important. Those who are having, those who are manufacturing the solar panels in our viewers here, it's important. So if you really look at windmills, geothermal, hydro, biomass, and solar, government pays, if you are generating 0.12 US cents per kilowatt hour. This is about the grid connected. There is an off-grid also they will pay. That is also a different higher rate than this one. So rest are all there, geothermal and all, because these are all the private investors who are coming forward and investing in this geothermal or wind or solar, and then they are getting paid that way. It is a agreement that is called power purchase agreement, PPA. So, that is the tariffs as of today. It is valid, and this is meant for about 10 megawatt. Below 10 megawatt also up to certain level it is valid, and then up to 3 megawatt you can have your own power plant, like we have got captive power plants in India. So if you are looking at the products part of it, so far we talked about large projects to the medium and some small scale projects. Now we are talking about the products. So what are the products we have in this country? Basically, the kind of products we have are home lighting systems, study lights. We have got LED lights, a lot of which works on solar. Fans are there, solar fans, solar refrigerators are there. So altogether, 30,000 products are being sold, serviced. And then we have got this kind of manufacturers or suppliers in this, which are those who are exclusively focusing on these products. There's like companies called D-Light, Ancopa, Sun King. Sun King is a, yeah, likewise the Barefoot, etc., etc. They are all there. So we have got even one panel manufacturing also. Yeah. Now yeah, okay, fine. This we are talking about these products and the earlier projects. Basically the kind of customers we are looking at. I am going to show in next slide where the panel manufacturer. There is one panel manufacturer, solar panel, is called Ubing. They are there, and the big target markets are SACCOs and all other societies. And then if we are looking at the controls, there is I told you KPLC is there, Kengen is there, RERAC is there. These are all the governmental agencies who will control the whole thing. Now, how the whole business in Kenya is irrespective of solar. So if you look at this graph, the pie chart here in front of you, this is how the business segments. This is not only solar, the whole business. Proprietorship business is major chunk here. Then we have got limited companies, there is NGOs, the franchises and partnerships, etc. out there. This is just to know the investment capacities in which sector you can focus more. Like if you wish to come with our products, like what we are talking about, the subject. Sole proprietorship, there are many. Sole proprietorship also means they own their own godowns, and they are not interested to pay heavy bills on electricity. So we can talk to them too. That's what I'm doing it. Same way it is go to the partnerships. Partnerships again is more or less like a soul, but it is easy to explain them. They know the value of economy and how to serve the whole thing. Yeah, next one. Yeah, next. We have already finished that. Yeah. So here the ways and means of promoting the solar products or projects is we can talk about direct distribution or respondent exclusive distributions, institutional partnerships, or distribution through dealerships. Like some big groups are there from even in Bangalore. They are coming Wari groups, and then we have got from Ahmedabad, from Hyderabad. They're all here. They come, those manufacturers. They come here. They will know the details, they communicate. So if you really look at the various kinds of patterns of distributionship or channelizing the products are these which are listed here. So in conclusion, if you look at it, solar has a very bright future here and a number of favorable factors. And then besides, we are all here. There's a big group of these things, especially some tech specialized in running our own groups. We can always talk and see how we can work together and how we move forward. But to inform and to make a know how what is happening in Kenya, how we can do business for that I targeted this presentation. But information what I could share on this time is very small. But there's a lot more than that is connections matters. More than that, many other factors. So much data is there on this one. So obviously, Kenya is a stepping or opening door for the East Africa and to the Central Africa. So ideally, the best way is Nairobi. In all ways, balances. You can able to see East Africa with more than 170 million population you can target with East Africa. If you look at that, okay, marketing or promoting the products or negotiating with the governments for the power plants or the products, this is the best gateway to go into the East Africa and to the Central Africa. So that is what I would say in the conclusion part of it. Just tap again. So some of our population also are there, big five. So you can see. So we'll enjoy. Even they also want you all here. So don't miss them and don't miss us also. Asante sana in Swahili. It's called thank you everyone.
Karibu Kenya.
Karibu Kenya. Karibu is welcome to Kenya. Thank you all for your attention. Any questions, please let me know.
Good evening, Mr. Prasad. This is Fani Chandra from Ishan Energy. We are into solar EPC services from Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh.
Oh, okay.
We have constructed around 1.5 gigawatts so far in partnership with a few companies across India and Sri Lanka, and recognized as one of the top 10 consultants by Silicon India for solar megawatt projects consultation, and we have been exceeding the expectations in solar rooftop space in Andhra.
Super.
So our intention is we want to expand in Kenya, provided if we get the land, and we actually did some contemplation in 2017 with our partners there, and some people tried to travel back to Kenya and stayed there for a couple of days, and we have chosen some county near Nairobi. I forgot the name. I'm trying to recollect, but the feed-in tariff, what we propose to the Kenyan Investment Authority is that we would actually set up the plant provided they give us the land and sign the PPA in a feed-in tariff policy for at least 20 plus years, removing the banking and wheeling charges for at least 15 years. That's what we proposed. And in the meantime, the government got changed, and our we had a restructure in our board, and then we had to come back and then start all together. Now, post-COVID, we want to actually explore the opportunity seriously, and I would like to see if you could be part for us, and we can actually promote it together.
Perfect, Mr. Fani. What you proposed is very ideal, and the terms and conditions are, that's how it is, 20 to 25 years. We do maintenance 20 years and hand over to the government. That's one way. Land, yes, we can agree, negotiate, and get the we can talk to the county governors. They are governors, or the government itself, central government, which is in Nairobi. We can get the land. That's those what you have spoken or spelled out is very, very appropriate and very valid. It can be done.
Sure, thank you. I'll get in touch with you, sir. I'll get in touch with you. Thank you.
Sure, sir.
Thank you,
hope you have my details there. My email, my number, everything is there.
Yeah, I did take a note of it.
Yes,
and
sure,
Suvarna but actually facilitated me, asked me to join this. She sent me the link, and in case if I cannot take it from the slide, I'll get it from her as well.
No problem. Thank you, Pani.
Most welcome, sir.
We can.
Yeah, participants, if you have any questions, please unmute your I can raise the question. You can raise the question.
Hi, good evening. Myself Satya. Basically, I'm a hardware designer who has got experience in solar-based home lighting systems. I just wanted to understand if I wanted to start as of now, I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't have any registered company. If I wanted to start as a startup and extend my products launch my products towards in the Kenya, is there any process? I just wanted to understand.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Satya. What happens is, okay, your products, like I suggest, I was also in the Kenya Bureau Technical Committee member earlier when I was working for this ABB. So that's why I'm able to confidently tell you what is the procedures required. So what happens is, first of all, your products have to be certified. Who is the certifying authority? Is it BSI or who? If it's BSI certified in India, we need to have that certificate, which we can present here in the Kenya Bureau of Standards. Let's say you're talking about electronics. If that is the product you want to market here, we need to produce so that yes, this is being designed, produced in India, and used by this. It has got its lifespan. You know that. What is its shelf life? You know, shelf life. Then afterwards, how do you? Because it's electronics. How do you? What you call it as a phase out when you are seeing. So design, you know, electronics always keep on evolving. So these are all the documentations we required. Once that is approved, we can able to push. That's one way. And another way of doing it is, if you are specific about what kind of, like you are talking about inverters, or you're talking about converters, or are you talking about what kind of controls, what kind of electronics you are able to produce for the solar. They are tax exempted also. So if we have that clarity in that, so I may able to specifically address point to point.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, actually, I joined late this seminar. I got this information late. Is there any point of contact for future understanding so that I can communicate with you?
Mrs. Suvarna, I think she has got all the information, including our presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Ms. Kanisha.
You can view. Yes.
Mr. Prasad, funny again. The counties
Yes,
that earlier we proposed were Busia.
Yeah, okay. Busia, okay.
Yeah. And we, in fact, had a meeting with the governor of that county. And with actually the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India facilitated the meeting.
Okay. No problem, Mr. Fani. I tell you, I think if whatever you suggested, proposed is good one, we can able to do. We have connections with the counties. We have got central government connections also. Indian High Commission, they are so close to us. They're very good friends of us. We have got all kinds of closed door connections, no issues. Well, okay. As you rightly say, let this corona thing come down. But having said corona is one side. It's now we found a stream. This is a corona stream that goes on and on. Our life continues. So our endeavors have to continue, irrespective of how this corona thing twists and turns. It will eventually be controlled, or we learn to live with it, how to control ourselves. That's the point. So these efforts can be done. Maybe you can start a dialogue by slowly seeing that where it is. Busia, why Busia? We have got close by. Busia is almost 300 kilometers from Nairobi, whereas we have got several other. We can talk to the governors and others. But I don't want to promise too many things at this time. We have to see, explore, understand each other, and how we move forward. We should have some kind of modus operandi, and then we can work on that one.
Certainly, well appreciated, well said. Fair enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And is Mr. Raila Odinga still the PM?
No. Okay, he's a key player, no doubt. But he's a key player. He's a very important political.
We met him in Delhi with a delegation.
Okay. But now no longer he's a PM. There is no PM post exist here, but he's a key player, no doubt about it. Very important to President. Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yes, yes, sir.
Any further questions?
Oh, yeah, I can see some questions. Oh, okay. For the question and answers, maybe you can even send on mails or anything, can be addressed on a case-to-case basis. As I see, this is an interesting subject. So, like Mr. Fani has spoken about it before, and as Mr. Satya as well. So, as I say, in the limited time, only limited discussions can be done, and there's a lot more to be discussed, and a lot more can be explored on a case-to-case basis. So, it's fine. You are all welcome. It's good to just. I'm still waiting. Any other Q&A are there?
Shornaji?
Yeah, I think if you have any doubt or this thing also, you can share given email also. And recordings will be sent to registration who are registered. So I think we can close the session. It was a wonderful session, Prasad Garu.
Yeah.
Thanks. It is pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank
you, Prasad
Inviting me on this
Thank you
call.
all. Thank you all. Yeah.
Pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
Santoshji, thank you.
Have a good evening to all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was an honor to have you with us today. Thank you for your time.
I hope you all enjoyed the information we shared.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of information passed on, and we are so grateful to have you, also to invite everyone to have a one-to-one conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Kenisha, should we exit?
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.